Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to be analyzing a third song for this week by Ka, Every Now and Then, off of the album Descendants of Cain. If you guys like these kinds of videos, me analyzing songs more in depth, please let me know by liking and subscribing and just letting me know in the comments which artists you'd like to see next. Do you want me to cover the rest of this album? I've done 3 songs from the album already. I could do the rest if you guys want, if you guys find these interesting. If not, shout me out a different artist. I was thinking of maybe doing Death Grips in the future. I know it'd be a little bit harder to analyze their lyrics because they're so surreal, but I think it could be a fun video. So yeah, with that all out of the way, let's get into Every Now and Then by Ka. So, like most Ka songs, we open up with a sample. This one is from the 1953 film The Robe, and it starts with, "You seem to have great influence here." So that's one person speaking, and then the other person says, "Well, when age speaks, youth listens. Sometimes." It's just a fun, cool bar there that I like. I actually haven't seen that film, or have I? I have to go back and look. I did go through a Roman Empire binge for a while when I was in high school, but anyways, let's get into the chorus. So we have an actual proper chorus in this song. Ka's actually singing it instead of just it being a sample from something else. So it starts with every now and then, in the square, offered a fare every now and then. I assume that just means like when he was in the community square, he offered a fare, which might have been like he was rapping. I know a lot of rappers start out by just going out in the streets and freestyling. That you can find a video actually of Biggie online doing that as a young kid. I think he was like 16 or something in the video. So that possibly could be what that line meant. Didn't talk, let it air every now and then. To get me in, sat with crooks every now and then. So to get himself into the gang or to get into the culture of his community, I guess, he started sitting in with gangs. Inquisitively hit the books every now and then. So he also had a bit of an intellectual knack to go and read some books every once in a while. Won't evade. I played the fool every now and then. So he wouldn't evade punishment, I guess. He just played the fool. He just admitted when he was wrong. So good character trait to have. Don't lie. Just admit that you were dumb. Which helped me lay a jewel every now and then. So obviously he found success from that, which is great. That's what you want to hear. Even though it might hurt to admit that you're wrong, it's better to do that than to lie to people and to evade things. So then we get into the first verse. Loved things I should have lusted. That's a cool line. I don't believe in lusting anything, but he loved things that he should have lusted. So I think this means that he loved women that maybe he should have just slept with. Maybe he should have just had the sexual encounter and walked away, but he fell in love with them, and then that led, I assume, to heartbreak. Certainly something that most men can identify with, but a bit of a bad way to look at the situation. Loved things I should have lusted. Sorry. I rushed it, snubbed things I should have trusted. So he rushed things, snubbed things out that he should have trusted. Sometimes you meet people in your life that you push away, and you probably should have let them into your life. You probably should have taken some advice or at least garnished some knowledge from them if you could have, and tried to build a bond with them. It's a sentiment we probably all feel sometimes. My comments ain't for quick alignment. It's for full adjustment. That's a good bar. So his comments, his lines, his lyrics, what he's writing isn't for a quick alignment. It's not a quick fix type of situation. Some people expect to read one self-help book and be fixed by that, or go to therapy for a month or maybe even just a year, and they think that's going to fix them, or to work out for a month and that's going to fix them. It's like those things aren't real. You can't fix yourself like that. So there's no quick alignment. It's for full adjustment. I think this is in reference to could be in reference to cars. I'm not the biggest mechanic head, but could be in reference to cars there. If I saw who did it, and chopped with the cops, the hood disgusted. If saw who did it and chopped with the cops, the hood disgusted. So, if you saw what happened and you chop it up with the cops, if you tell them, if you snitch, basically, everybody's going to be disgusted with you. It's just an interesting way of saying if you snitches get stitches, or some other colloquial saying like that. As such was in touch with the untouchable. As such was in touch with the untouchable. I think this is a reference to his relationship with God. I could be wrong, but it seems like that's what that might be. Find out if you really tough when the gun stuck to you. Ooh. So this one is like, we're going to see if you're really tough when the gun's pointed at you, stuck to you, right? Like pointed at your head when you got a barrel on your head. I hope this hasn't happened to anybody watching my videos, but if it has happened to you and you're comfortable sharing, please leave in the comments what that situation was like. I've heard a couple stories like that before where like a gun's been pointed to somebody's head and like that's a real, it's a memory that sticks with them because it's a real tell of character, if you shit yourself or not. And that was actually played out, I think, in The Wire in season 1 brilliantly with the character Wallace. For those of you who have seen The Wire, if you haven't seen The Wire, go watch it. If you're watching this video and you haven't seen The Wire, definitely go watch The Wire. Bag of work with leeches. Work the pieces. That's flushable. Bag of work with leeches. Work the pieces. That's flushable. Ooh, might need some help with that one. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think of that. I don't want to spend too much time thinking about it, so let me know what you guys think of that line. Not with apes. Walks to the train. Ain't safe. They have to usher you. Huh. I think this is something like you need protection. Just getting to the trains, you need protection because I don't get the not with apes line, but I think he's just referencing it just being such a tough neighborhood, so many violent people around that you need somebody to walk you to the station. It's not the most clearest line. No rush for structure. We was freewheeling. Now that line's good. So there's no rush for structure. Ooh, I don't want to talk about racial politics, but I'm getting dragged into it. So if you're not rushing if you're not pushing to make a structure, to whether it's create a family, partake in politics in your local community, it could be a number of things. If you're not pushing for a structure and you're just freewheeling, and you're just living day by day, not really thinking about the future, not really planning for anything, yeah, your life's going to turn into hell pretty quickly. And I don't want to say like all black people don't have structure in their lives. Obviously, that's not true. But there are some communities where it seems to be a little bit leaning on the side of, not going to work, not going to school, criminal activity arises, and then you get areas like Compton and Brownsville where it caused from. And I think that's what he's speaking to there. Need money to shuffle. That's why we was in the street dealing. Ain't a door being on the floor. Wanted to reach ceiling. So he needed money, so that's why he was in the street dealing drugs. Ain't a door being on the floor. Wanted to reach the ceiling. So couple things here. This could mean that he didn't like being in Brownsville, going around dealing drugs, doing criminal activity. He hated being at the bottom. He wanted to reach the ceiling. He wanted to become something, achieve a successful status, whatever that might be. For him, it's probably hip-hop and rap, I assume. Or it could mean that he didn't like being on the floor, like just laying on the floor, thinking about your life all the time. He wanted to reach the ceiling. He just wanted to die and go up to heaven. That might be a misreading of this line, but it's also kind of in there. So, service from the borough of churches where they preach stealing. Ooh, boy. So if you look up a picture of Brownsville, yeah, the boroughs do look pretty horrible. And he's calling these boroughs of churches where they preach stealing. So the boroughs where he lived in, everyone around him was preaching stealing. And you got to kind of, Cod does a brilliant example. He's a brilliant example of like somebody who's able to do this for you. I think The Wire is a brilliant example of being able to do this for you as well. But you have to be able to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who lives in Brownsville to like really get what he's trying to say. When you're in a community where everybody around you, like really like try to put your head here for a second, where everyone around you, your mom, your sister, your dad, maybe he's locked up but from jail, you know, like everyone around you is telling you to steal, take what's yours, just take from other people. Like you're gonna do it. If you don't have any other better role models in your life, you're just gonna fall into that pattern. And that's where Kaz speaking on here. Like when everyone around you is preaching it, it almost becomes like a church. Like now that's your church. But if you have a real church that preaches, you know, I know not everybody agrees with the Bible or Christianity, but fill in the blank for whatever church you want. But if you have a church where you preach good values and good morals and people go there and everybody else, you know, preaches and spouts out good morals and values to their kids and the people around them, then you get a good community. You get a community where people care about each other and want to help each other, and it works. And sometimes you get bad communities as showcased here. And I'm okay. Only told the truth. They gave loops with no fruits. So Fruit Loop reference there. Only told truth. They gave loops with no fruits. Only told the truth. So he only told the truth, but they gave loops. So loops is like another way of like telling a lie. You know, you get caught in a lie. It's like a loop. With no fruits. So telling lies that don't bear anything, that don't, you know, I think that's what that means. They deeds diseased the seeds. I produce produce. Again, kind of touching back to that theme, like the deeds diseased the seeds. It's a great rhyming there, but it's awesome. It actually means something. So the deeds that they did, the actions that they did, it impacted and influenced the seeds, the kids. It's going back to what I'm saying. When everybody around you is putting out bad morals, either saying them or acting them out, like you're going to derive your morals from those people around you. So speaking to that again, was dropped in Gotham, I had to blossom and grow roots. So dropped in Gotham, obviously reference to Batman. Batman also, you know, trying to, I don't think he's trying to get out of Gotham, but he's trying to deal with Gotham, even though Gotham is, I mean, if you've read Batman comics or watched any of the movies, Gotham is a horrible city. It's filled with crime. It's basically like Brownsville or Compton, but on like a mega scale. So was dropped in Gotham, had to blossom and grow roots. So he had to make something of himself in that horrible situation, which like Batman had to do, right? Like his parents were killed in the streets. You know, sure, it was after a big play and they were all dressed up in suits, but you can scale that down. And, you know, plenty of young black kids have had their parents killed in the streets too. I'm sure of it. And somehow in those horrible, wretched, no light situations, you have to somehow grow roots and blossom and become something. And somebody once said that, like, all the toughest, I think it was Joe Rogan actually, he said, like, all the toughest people he knows all went through hell. And, you know, it's said kind of matter of fact, but that's true. I think there's a lot of truth to that. Like, the real, like, the best people I know, at least in my life, like, the toughest, best people I know, I don't know if best is the right word, but they have been through hell. They've actually suffered. The people that I know in my life who are flaky and I don't really trust them with much is they haven't been through anything. And I don't like saying they haven't been through anything because obviously pain and trauma is all relative. But yeah, sure you guys get what I'm saying. Anyways, and Chase the product got up on his shoulders with no boost. And Chase the product got up on his shoulders with no boost. So climbing his way to the top, I guess, to get what he needs. Yeah, I don't have too much to say on that bar. Anyways, Back to the chorus, every now and then, every now and then. I break my chains when I'm around the pen, every now and then, every now and then. I break my chains when I'm around the pen. Ooh, ooh, that's a good bar. That's a really good bar. I break my chains. I mean, whether you want to like tie that back to slavery and make that a race thing, or you just want to like face value, like he actually breaks out of his bondage of the world when he's around the pen. So through writing, he's making his way out of, you know, the bondage of being a person, but also the bondage of living in an area like Brownsville. He's making it out of that when he's around the pen, when he's writing. And I think that's just such a cool, special line. I love that. On to verse 2. There's only 2 verses in this song. Good. This video's already getting long. Mom's made rice, I ain't leave a grain. So his mom made food. He didn't leave a single grain of rice. So that's obviously taking that to a bit of an extreme, but it's true. I mean, if you have ever been in a household where you haven't had a lot of food around, you eat the last grain of rice. You go all the way, you know, you get every little bit of sustenance you can. I haven't had to live in a situation like that, thank God, but for those who have, I'm sure you guys can relate to that. Nobody played nice. I was breeding pain. Nobody played nice. So nobody around you's playing nice. Maybe they're wrestling tough. Maybe they're stealing from you as a child. So you're just breeding pain. You're just building up things that are bad things that are being done to you. And then you're brewing it up. And now you want to do bad things to other people. That's usually how that goes. Had to cuff a gun because nothing done in Jesus' name. So he had to get a gun because nothing around him was being done in Jesus' name. So this is obviously bringing his religion back in, but nobody around him was doing anything good, anything highly, anything morally correct, if you want. So he had to get a gun. He had to literally defend himself at all costs because everything around him was evil. Years of school was cool, but only street smarts we retain. Ooh, that's another great one. So years of school was cool. Like, school's cool, you know, whatever. I know that this is somewhat of a stereotype for black people in America to just not care about school and rather be gangbanging in the streets. That's true for some people, but not all of them, obviously. But only street smarts we retain. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes the things that you learn in the streets, maybe not in the streets, but just in the real world outside of school, sometimes the things that you learn there, you keep with you and you retain longer than the things you learn in school. Now, that could be a sign that you went to a bad school and had bad teachers or whatnot, but it also might be a sign that what you learn in the world is more pertinent. It's more useful to you, and that's probably true in a lot of cases. There's a lot of things that I wasn't taught in school that I wish I was, so, you know, make a list of that. I'm sure we all can, and those would be like the street smart things, I guess. Big risk for little rewards. Yeah, obviously getting a few dollars just to feed yourself for the day isn't worth your life, but going around with a gun stealing from people, that's basically what you're putting on the line. The sum of all these guns is trigger remorse. So all these guns that are being toted by people in the streets, the only thing that triggers is remorse. So I don't know if there's anybody out there that's killed somebody that's watching this video, but if there is, you know this feeling deeply. For those of you who haven't killed anybody, which is hopefully the whole audience, you guys don't know this feeling at all. I don't know this feeling, but I've talked to people who have this feeling. I've talked to people who know what that's like, and it's the remorse you get from taking a life is unlike anything you will ever experience, ever. It's like the one thing I would say, like, avoid that at all costs. Never take a life, because, like, even if it's done justly, it's going to be on your mind forever. Every single night you go to bed, you're going to be thinking about it. And it apparently completely haunts you to the point where a lot of people kill themselves after having killed somebody because it's just unbearable. So yeah, that's a good line to have in there, because it might be cool to be waving a gun around like dumbass John Morant on his Instagram. Look at me, I'm a gangster, I'm cool. But the second you pull that in front of somebody and you take a life, that wave of remorse is going to hit you, and it's going to absolutely obliterate you. So, good line there. Another daughter on the border with illicit trying to get it across. Another daughter on the border with illicit trying to get it across. Too many married the games. They should have divorced. Ooh, I'll get to that line. The daughters line, I think that's just like daughters on the verge of prostitution trying to get money. Too many married the games. They should have divorced. Awesome line there. Yeah, like I said, like addiction to drugs, addiction to gambling, addiction to, maybe you have an addiction to stealing, robbing, killing. Hopefully nobody watching this has an addiction to killing. Leave me out of it. If you have an addiction to one of those things, or you're married to the game, you're too deep into it, get out of it, divorce it, get those horrible behaviors out of your life, because they will consume you and you will become them. It won't be you being a gambler. It'll be you're now gambling. You are gambling. I don't want to confuse anybody, but you kind of become the thing that you are every day. Like if you're acting something out every day, you become the spirit of that thing. So be careful with what you spend all your time doing. Of course, that's loyal to a fault. They said it though. You never know who loyal till you caught. Ooh, yeah, you do never know who's loyal until they're caught. Obviously, in reference to street activity, getting picked up by the cops, you're not going to know if that friend's loyal to you until they get caught, until they come back, and then you kind of figure out, like, hey, did that guy just spill all the beans about our operation to the cops? Okay, that guy's not loyal. But you can also reference this to just everyday life. Like, I might think somebody's loyal to me and they might be telling me the truth every day, and then suddenly I catch them in a lie, and then suddenly that loyalty shifts. You don't want to like be careful with this, because you don't want to push this too far, but you do want to test the loyalty of your friends a little bit. You don't want to just accept that they're loyal. If they just say like, oh yeah, I'm a loyal friend, it's like, you're going to have to prove that. Don't ever take anybody's word point blank on that subject, or just like on any moral subject. If somebody comes up to you and they're like, I'm a very truthful person, or you're meeting somebody, you're starting to interact with them more, and they say something like that, I'm a truthful person, I'm a loyal person, I'm a good person, that might be the worst one. Never, ever, 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 ever trust them face value. Even if they have a smile on their face and all your internal signs are saying, oh, this person's telling the truth. They can fool you. Psychopaths can fool you pretty easily. And always test people's loyalty. Obviously, don't push that too far. Like, don't like go kill somebody and then go to your best friend and be like, I killed somebody. Don't do that. But definitely test your friend's loyalty where you can. They said it though. Oh no, I just read that. People I love blood in the soil that I walk. On 'em curbs served the servant, but it's royal when I talk. So people I love blood is in the soil that I walk. People I love blood is in the soil that I walk. So his ancestors are in the soil. Maybe people he actually knew, like his grandparents, are buried. People he loved is in the soil that he walks. He tries to walk and do the things that the people that he loves, people that he truly loves, do. It could be something like that. On M, like EM, curbs, served the servant, but it's royal when I talk. So he served the servant. So he's servicing himself to the lowest possible people, the servants, right? This is like the motif in the Bible when Jesus washes the feet of the disciples, right? They're his disciples, but he's washing their feet. He's doing the lowliest act. And this is something that you should take into your own life. You should be willing to help anybody, not just somebody who's rich and that you might benefit off of helping them. You should help people that have no money, that are homeless, or just in a horrible spot. Like, help the people lower than you because they probably need it the most. And then, but it's royal when I talk. So when he talks, there's royal might be the wrong word, but it works in the wordplay here. But when he talks, there's depth to it, and we can see that through all the lines that I've analyzed in this video and the last two videos, that this guy does have a lot going on in his head, and when he speaks, it is pretty deep. Example, me making 3 videos analyzing his songs. But yeah, royal, not the biggest fan on using the word royal, but the sentiment I like there. And then we get the chorus again, every now and then, every now and then, every now and then, every now and then, I hold court every now and then, I stole and fought every now and then, we deal weight every now and then, every now and then, I still feel hate every now and then, every now and then, Ka fresh every now and then, cultivated but digress every now and then, every now and then, every now and then. It just keeps repeating that. Anyways, song is brilliant. Hopefully I did a good job of analyzing it. Hopefully you guys found something in there interesting. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps boost this channel in the algorithm. And let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do the rest of this album. Do you guys want me to do other songs by Ka? I don't even know if this is my favorite album by him. It might be. Don't get me wrong. It's like up there. But there's other songs by him that I think are even better. So if you guys want me to do more Ka songs, please let me know. If there's any other artists you want me to cover, it doesn't even have to be hip-hop. It could be any genre. Fill up the comments, and I will get to it. This is a lot of fun, actually, analyzing lyrics, because I could just, hold the phone here, go through it line for line. I don't have to, like, memorize in my head what happened in a movie. I can kind of spend my time going through line for line with you guys. So it's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and peace.